Hey, hello everybody. So, before we begin the Enlightenment, the French Revolution, and Romanticism, before we get into that period, what I want to do is, or as we get into that period, what I want to do is kind of go over what's transpired from the end of Greece and Rome to all the way up into where we are now, as we begin to meet new key figures that have changed the world. Moving forward, I think it's important for us to have a little bit of context of what we missed between Greece and Rome till now. So these are going to be just kind of short videos you'll get every couple of days as we bring, as I just kind of give you background on what exactly has transpired to get us to where we are now in history. Okay, the first is the Middle Ages. The Middle Ages occurred between ancient and modern times, or from the fall of Rome in roughly 476 to about 1350, just before the early Renaissance. During this period, Christianity was the dominant religion in Western Europe, and the church was the single largest and most important organization in Western Europe. The church provided stability in the face of political upheavals and economic hardships. The stability was evident both in its organization and in its message. Life on earth might be brutally hard, but it was the means of a joyful life in heaven. The church taught that life on earth was a time of divine testing and preparation for life after death. At the same time, feudalism, a system in which land was offered in exchange for loyalty and military support, was the dominant political arrangement. The Middle Ages was an era of lords, knights, and castles, and also one of nuns and monks and peasants and serfs. Religious figures such as Saint Benedict, Hildegard, and Thomas Becket played important roles, as did kings and queens such as Charlemagne and William the Conqueror and Eleanor of Aquitaine. Okay, in the Middle Ages, as feudalism weakened and kings grew stronger, some of our modern monarchies of Europe began to emerge, as did a growing sense of loyalty to monarchs. France and England fought each other in the Hundred Years' War. The French heroine Joan of Arc helped France win this war. However, England emerged from this lengthy conflict with a stronger sense of nationalhood. English kings such as King Henry II and King John attempted to consolidate royal power, but were forced to make concessions to the nobles by establishing Parliament and the signing of the Magna Carta, a document which that guaranteed people certain rights. Okay, this is kind of what happened during the Middle Ages. All right, moving past that, we get into the Renaissance. Okay, the Renaissance, which began in the Italian city-states and eventually spread into other parts of Europe, is usually said to have lasted from about 1400 to roughly 1650. The word Renaissance means rebirth. This period saw a rebirth of interest in ancient Greek and Roman, as well as a rediscovery of some Greek and Roman works. European scholars learned more about the writings of the ancient Greeks and Romans. Interest in the ancient world also increased. These scholars became known as humanists because they devoted their lives to studying the humanities and sought to find a balance between thinking about human virtues and actively participating in life. This focus on studying human culture, actively engaging in life's pursuits, was an important hallmark of the humanist movement. All right. The Renaissance was also a time of great artistic creativity in literature, painting, sculpture, and architecture. Beyond studying the once forgotten Greek authors, European literature experienced its own rebirth. Writers such as William Shakespeare and Miguel de Cervantes, and political theorists such as Niccolò Machiavelli and Baldassare Castiglione benefit from Johannes Gutenberg's printing press and movable type, an invention that made possible the widespread dissemination of literature in vernacular languages. Under the patronage of wealthy individuals and families such as Medici in Florence, architects built gorgeous churches like the Duomo based on the classical models, and painters created beautiful new works, sometimes blending Christian and classical themes. Men such as Leonardo da Vinci came to epitomize this age, working in art, architecture, and scientific study. All right, so those are the two that I'm going to talk about. Next video, I'll go into the scientific revolution and as well as discuss the age of exploration. So, as we move towards the Enlightenment, the French Revolution, and Romanticism, remember we're kind of moving through history past some very important ages to get there. All right. Everybody have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.